welcome back to part 2, the rather faded pink Mercedes-Benz. Lots and lots of polishing. Let's get straight back into it. We are still cutting our way around this car. I've actually cut bits out of this because there was so much of this to do. Yes, there is rather a lot of these polishing sets and lots of cleaning of the pads. You've got to have patience to do this, and don't be too greedy. I found that when I was a bit greedy with larger areas, it wasn't coming up as good as it should. It was hazy, it was patchy. So speed wise, with a microfiber pad, around about speed 4.5. Don't really want to go much faster than that. And just keep it steady. So just with those lights, you can see I've been at this a little while, and you can see it's starting to take shape. Now, of course, there is editing with this. You don't want to sit there watching me polish one panel for hours on end. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you're sad. I don't know. Already you can see the transformation. We're peeling back the years, peeling back those horrible layers of dead paint. So after every time we're cleaning the pad out, I have to load this up with the compound. Spread it first and then gradually build up speed. Now, of course, this is edited. This is speeded up. My camera just does not like polishing videos. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't want to focus. So after every set, IPA wipe down. And just keep moving around that car. So I switched over to a green pad. This is from the SGC BUK guys. This is their high cut, heavy cut pad. It's a foamer, or density foam, not foamer. Firmer foamer, that's the one. Blimey, I've not even had a beer yet. Already I'm getting my words muddled up. So the idea is of this tape down the wing is just to limit where I go. It's more of a guide for me as well as a crafty 50-50, because everyone loves a 50-50, don't they? So a member of the public, a friend of the owners, came up and said, "Oh, you've had your car resprayed." Yeah, not exactly resprayed. So it's starting to take shape. I would like to say I was on my home straight, but I wasn't. Nowhere near. Don't forget your ear protection. Now, in some clips, I'm not wearing gloves. You need to wear gloves. It just protects you from hand-arm vibration syndrome. I don't always wear them because I'm jumping about on the camera. Switcheroo to a smaller pad now, smaller machine, spot pad polisher. Again, heavy cut pad from SGC BUK. Now, of course, we could have took the roof off. Would have made things a little bit easier, but do you know what? We got around the problem. Right there, right down the bottom, you can actually get under that with the hybrid polisher. Now, one thing I noticed was this side of the car was worse. Why? Because it's in full sunlight all day. Yeah, residue. So moving on to the hybrid polish and KDN detailing. Got that small extender bar there just to make things a little bit more controllable. There is a small pin, tiny little tool you use for locking that to take it off. When we do a full review, I'll break it all down so you can have a good old look. So no editing with this is just normal speed. And the reason we tape up is to stop residue and obviously chafing our pads. Now we come to the worst part of the vehicle, the bonnet. I broke this down to a number of sections. It's a shame that I couldn't get really good footage because for some reason, even my camera up high, it doesn't like focusing on really glossy paint when I'm machining, which is just mad. So once again, speed it up for your enjoyment. If you're wondering what that towel's for, it's just to cover up the wipers. Yes, camera, make your mind up. You kind of get a rough idea. Test panel this is. No visual elastic trickery here. This is it. This is the first pass, and you can still see the faded areas. It's patchy even in that square, but that's what I was up against. I decided to break the rotary out. Now arm speed changes here because obviously it produces a lot more heat. You've got to keep the movement. I haven't used this machine for a very long time. I've got so used to using the DA, the Rupes, but it's still a really capable machine. This is the Shine Mate. You can get this from Clean Your Car, I believe. I've had this years, this machine. Yep, patchwork quilt. It was just a very slow process. Moving on to the plastics. Wasn't so bad this. And certainly the more fiddly areas took a lot longer than I thought. There should be a black plastic guard, which I forgot to put on there. Naughty me. Fine polish stage or finish polish stage. So we switch over to a yellow pad. It's a softer pad. And this should increase the gloss. We shouldn't have that haziness. So after a rather long set, this is the difference in the gloss just on that front wing. And that's why you have to do 2 stages. Now I've got to say that the final finish polish has a lot more lubricant in it. Obviously the level of cut is far less than the previous compound. So these pads are from the SGC BUK guys again. This is why you need these machines for these awkward bits. We've got to be on the home straight. So although the sun wasn't out, it was very, very humid. I have never drank so much water. Keep your fluid levels topped up, even if you don't eat anything or don't have time to eat anything. And not beer, you can do that at the end. So it's now the fiddly bits and we are almost there. Bit of a corrosion issue on the headlight wiper. And when you finally get to the end, it's probably the best bit and the most satisfying. If you have fingernails, yes, what a hash I made of this, trying to get this tape off. What idiot stuck that on that side repeater? I'll give you a clue. He's tall and he's bald and he's from Essex. That stuff sticks really well. 3M tape. Oh. So once you've finished detangling the spaghetti junction, it's on to the next bit. Aha! The cleanup. Garage Therapy glass cleaner now. And we've got door shuts and all sorts of shenanigans to clean up. So what about last stage protection? Now, there was several choices with this, and in the end I chose a polymeric ceramic sealant for longevity. This is from High Definition Detail. It's called Refulgence. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put a link a doodle right above. It's fairly easy to put on. However, precautions are needed in warm weather. It can be a little bit finicky. Like most ceramic sealants, they have a tendency to be a little bit draggy, a little bit smeary in warm weather. You're not really supposed to use them in hot temperatures. Didn't really have much choice. I mean, this was fairly late in the day, but it was still pretty warm. It does, however, produce a very good gloss. Now, we have a special tool here. Yes, this answer on a postcard. What do you reckon that is? This is from Carscope. This is a tyre dressing applicator. Yes, it's a puck style one. Garage Therapy's tyre serum. It has the softest bristles I've ever felt, but they're pretty durable. It's soft, but it's stiff. I know something like that. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. That's my age. Anyway, not a bad thing to use. Been using this for a few weeks now, and it's pretty good. Because once you load it up, it kind of stays in it. Because you put it back into its little puck garage and say goodnight to it, and it's good to use the next day. And that is it. Here's the before and after shots. Yes, finally we've finished the Mercedes-Benz. 19 hours of hard slog and it's finished, and we have a very, very happy customer. Before you go any further, Paul, what on earth is that telly doing behind you? You might be asking that question. I'm in the middle of the city of York. I'm in a hotel room. I'm away from home. I'm on a training course. It's all to do with my job behind the scenes. This is how busy I am, you see. Cramming YouTube videos into my busy schedule. So I thought I'd bring the camera away, get the video done while I'm away from home. Right, enough about that. What do we actually think about the compounds? What do we think about the pads? What do we think about the hybrid polisher? Now, briefly, we're going to talk about residue. Both sets of pads cope with this pretty well. I'm not talking about the residue from the compound. That is very, very minimal in the dusting, very minimal. It's got a decent cut. The cutting compound behaves very, very well. The issue is it's single stage paint, and with both sets of pad, you've got to keep cleaning them out regularly. If you don't clean them out, you're just going to end up pushing dead paint all over the panels, and you're going to be there for another month at least. So you've got to keep cleaning the pads out. Now, both sets of cutting pads, microfiber pads from G3 and SGC BUK, behave very well. They do an excellent job. There's minimal heat on the Rupes Bigfoot. I did, however, switch to a green heavy cut pad from the SGC BUK on both machines. I used a Rupes machine and a Shinemate rotary because the Bonnet was just awful. It was terrible. It took quite a lot of going over. In fact, to be honest, it probably could have done with wet sanding, but that wasn't in the price. It wasn't something we were kind of discuss. Maybe at a later date, if you want to go full correction, then go for it. You can do that. But we were just there to just get that gloss level back. I did go and look at this car. I looked at it, shot the B-roll before, just to save time. I knew what I was going to be up against. I knew it was going to be a tough cookie to crack. But we did get there in the end. I want to say a massive thanks, by the way, to G3 Professional and SGC BUK, detailed online, high definition detail, garage therapy, and anyone else I've missed. Oh, Carscope UK for sending down the accessories. Without you guys, the video wouldn't have happened. There was no money changed hands. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but they did send the products down for free. I have to tell you guys that straight away. So, the standout thing for me, funny enough, was the hybrid polisher, because it's just so handy. It's really, really handy when you get some of those sort of niggly bits on the top of the doors and around the boot. That probably was the worst bit of the job, but that machine made it so much easier. And obviously cutting pads and finishing pads, you've still got to do exactly the same. The first day and a bit was cutting, and then the finishing stages with all the finishing pads. So the big thing for me when doing jobs like this is time allocation. Allow yourself enough time. Personally, I probably could have done with another half day on this car. I didn't stop for any breaks apart from drinking copious amounts of water. It's exhausting. Any professionals that are watching this, I salute you guys that do this all the time. It is very, very physically draining. It's hard work. Not just physically and mentally. You've got to have some sort of a game, some sort of strategy of what you're going to do, and be sort of methodical in your manner, because it makes things a lot easier. You do need quite a few pads, and massive thanks to SGC BUK and G3 for sending the pads down, because there's a lot of them, and they all went in a washing machine when I got home, and they still look a bit pink, so we might have to go back on another cycle. But massive thanks to everyone that got involved with this, detailed online, SGC BUK, G3 Professional, Carscope, high definition detail. Big thanks to you guys. All the links to the websites will be underneath this video. Go check them out. Or KDN detailing as well. Check them out. Lots more videos coming up. As you can see, I'm away from home. Find it a bit tough at the moment to shoot enough footage for you guys, but I will be back with more reviews, including we've got a pressure washer review coming up very, very soon. That's coming to the channel. And don't forget, we've got the podcast. Check out Linktree underneath this video. Check out the Amazon affiliate links, because that goes to support the channel. And thank you very, very much for watching. Appreciate all the comments. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. We'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.